Happy Friday. We are on day 4 of following our joy route. We're going to wrap it up today. So here we go. Our next awesome action is follow your joy route. What brings you joy? Go inward and ask yourself what really brings you joy. When are you happiest? A quick way to stop focusing on your flaws is to follow your joy route, and that means getting in touch with your true passions and innermost desires. But know that what brings you joy may not bring joy to others. I recently led a workshop called Clear Your Fear. At the start of the session, a man in attendance told me he wanted to sell his house and move, but he really had no idea where he wanted to go. I introduced the concept of the joy route to the group, and his face lit up. He loved the idea, but he was having a hard time finding his true joy. He said, I just want to sell everything, all my stuff, or donate it. I'm not sure what I want to do or where I want to go, but I feel compelled to do this. However, my children have their own ideas of what I should do and are putting pressure on me to do what they think is right. A lot of us have a hard time finding our joy route because we have spent so many years trying to please everyone around us. This keeps us from feeling bliss because we are focused on other people's joy routes. When we put other people's joy route ahead of our own, we will sacrifice our own happiness. This is why we feel an empty feeling inside. This is also why many of us turn to addictions or other self-sabotaging habits. We are desperately trying to find that joyful feeling we have lost. This man's children were telling him to do something that they thought would bring them joy, but their joy can't be dependent on someone else's actions. When we have expectations for others to do or not do things, we place conditions on our happiness. Not only is this dangerous, if someone else doesn't meet your expectations, you can't be happy, but it is also superficial happiness. Someone else cannot bring us to lasting joy. The man in my workshop had a different idea of what he should do with his possessions. He realized that if he didn't sell his house, he would be aligning with his children's joy route and neglecting his own. Through the acceptance meditation, he released the pressure and accepted his own joy. Your only mission and job is to align with your joy route. If your joy route contradicts another person's joy route, you will find balance in aligning with your own. When other people align with their true joy as well, versus putting pressure on you to be something that you are not or do something that causes you conflict, the situation will balance out. You see, true joy routes are exclusive of demands on other people. Your happiness shouldn't be dependent on anyone else. This man's children were expecting him to do something that contradicted his joy route. When he aligned with his own joy route and gave himself permission to dream, he had an even bigger breakthrough. He told me, I sold my house and haven't known where I am supposed to move because maybe I'm not supposed to move yet. My joy route, which just came to me in the meditation, is to take time off and travel in a motorhome to all the places my wife wanted to go before she passed on. Yes, yes, yes. This is the joy route. Our inner guide will tell us what the right choice is, and following those nudges and aligning with what feels the most joyful is the path to true happiness. As he left the session, he stopped and told me, I was pretty sure I'd come tonight and get some more tools to help me find my answer. I didn't realize I would come tonight and get my answer. This breakthrough came to him because he gave himself permission to follow his joy route. The key is permission and acceptance. Respect your own desires and know that they are yours. Your internal compass is important, and when you let it guide you instead of focusing on what isn't working, you will be a beacon of light for transformation as you represent your true desires and live them fully. So the homework, to wrap this up, number 1, make a list of 20 to 30 things that bring you joy. Number 2, each day be sure to implement at least some of these things. And that is your homework going forward for the rest of your life. You should always be implementing things that bring you joy, no matter how little or big they may be. And I found it a little hard to wrap my head around her saying, of course we do have to follow our own joy route, absolutely. But it's hard, especially if you are a wife or mother, it's hard to not consider other people. Obviously we're going to consider other people. I think the balance in there that she didn't fully explain in my mind is more about, it's not about ignoring what they would want or completely going against what might be good for your family, but instead just being a little more selfish. It doesn't have to be selfish, it will just feel selfish, but just think of yourself a little bit more than you normally would and go, okay, so they might not like maybe my husband would scoff at me joining a book club because it'd be one more night that I'm not here with the family to do this or whatever, and he's not used to that. I don't know. I'm just like trying to picture something in a movie that would happen. Okay, so maybe my husband might not like the idea of that at first, or maybe my kids wouldn't because mommy won't be here on Thursday nights or something. But when you think about that, it's just a small thing. They'll survive. No big deal. You will get to have that adult time and be with girlfriends and have some wine, or this is how I picture book clubs, and I so badly want to be in one. You'll get to have that couple of hours, one night a week, one night a month, whatever it is, to do something that brings you joy and something that is just for you, where you don't have to be mom. You don't have to be the chauffeur. You don't have to be the cook or whatever. You just get to be you and do what brings you joy. And when you do that, you will come home happier. The next day, you will be happier because you had a little bit of stress relief, you did something for yourself, and then that means that you are actually better for them, and then they will see that and they'll be happy that you're doing it. So that's my take on what she was saying there. You can't just depend on what other people think that your joy route should be, and you can't always only think about other people, you know? If you are happy, then the people around you will be happier because you can give more of yourself in a more real, organic way instead of like being stressed and feeling, you know, like you're doing everything for everyone else but not for yourself. It's one of those, you know, you got to fill your cup before you can fill anyone else's. So make that list of 20 to 30 things. If you write it out, I would love if you would take a photo and share it in the comments below. Or if you're typing it out, if you want to screenshot it or just type a couple of them and let us know. Maybe it'll help give some other people ideas because sometimes it's hard to really think about this stuff and they might come up later. As you're going through your days or weeks or months or whatever, you might go, oh yeah, you know what? That's something that I love to do. Maybe it's not the season right now or whatever, but make that an ongoing list and then don't put it away. Keep it out somewhere that you'll see often so that you can be really mindful of doing these things more often, because if you're doing things that bring you joy more often, then you'll have a more joyful life. So I hope you've enjoyed this series that we did this week, and have a wonderful Friday. Let's also share a flex when you are doing your workout log, and have a great day. Bye.